Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and thank you to the 22 subscribers for signing up. Didn't think I'd get this far, so thank you very much. And today we are discussing what is faith and how it can be dangerous. For instance, as you can see, there are a few definitions, but it predicates on the notion of complete and utter trust or belief in something without good evidence or complete lack thereof. It is important to note that faith blinds people into refusing evidence, especially when it threatens their core beliefs. For instance, in the 1960s till 1975, Jehovah's Witnesses believed the world would come to an end based on the organization's biblical calculations and suggested the end will be around 1975 because they believed that it marks 6,000 years since Adam's creation. Many good people sold their homes and possessions in order to become a full-time pioneer before Armageddon arrived or concluded, which was praised by the Watchtower at the time. But why? What would compel people to do something so rash? In the Watchtower's 15th of August 1968 release, they postulate that the Battle of Armageddon would end by 1975. In their 15th of March 1969 article, the Watchtower blatantly informed young ones to ignore and to be discouraged uh, by the pursuit of higher education, calling it the devil's propaganda, and should instead pursue full-time ministry with the hopes of being given a post at Bethel and or ministry service. Many took up this mantle, as the Watchtower stated that they had an increase of 34% of pioneers and special pioneers in the early years of the 1970s. Can we say that these faithful individuals were stupid? No, that would be an unfair estimation, for there are plenty of intelligent people that believe in ludicrous things and practice them. A good example for this is the Earth being flat. An instance of attempting to prove this was Mike Hughes, who built a steam-powered rocket and subsequently died as a result of this foolhardy endeavor. Instead, it is far more reasonable to conclude that they had faith in a source that to them was unquestionable, and to do so would be in violation of their core beliefs and in turn their faith. There are several examples in the Bible where it talks about faith. For instance, in Ephesians chapter 2 verses 8 and 9 it states, "For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast." Hebrews chapter 11 verse 6 states, "But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him." And finally, James chapter 2 verse 26, "For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also." Did you notice the select choice of words here? It's a gift of God. Without faith it is impossible to please him. And my favorite, faith without works is dead. When reinforced in practice, you are in effect become nothing more than a slave and blind. Some people will use Luke chapter 10 verse 27 to refute the claim of being blinded by faith, as it reads, "Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself." The reason I bring this up is obvious, I think. If you claim that you are not blinded by faith because you are commanded to love God with your mind, you are in effect contradicting yourself. For to believe in God, you literally have to have faith, which we have established is a belief in something without good or any evidence, meaning you have already started from a faith-based position, and if your ideology is to use your mind to reinforce your faith and love of God, then you are blinded by your own reasoning. Why is this dangerous? Do you think those individuals that probably spent all their life savings before or during 1975 were ever compensated after the fact? Probably not, and there's no reason to assume so. Take, for example, the Watchtower's apology, in which instead of apologizing for falsely misleading people on with their biblical calculations. They instead insisted on the notion that it was the individual's fault for buying into the hype. More examples can be that of outside the Jehovah's Witnesses organization, such as suicide bombers of today, or the kamikaze pilots of World War II, to Buddhist monks' bombings, to in today's Sri Lanka during the separation from India, all had or have faith in their beliefs and cause. I have to stress that although the latter examples are of an extreme nature, where death is involved, and the former examples are of potential financial ruin, both in my estimations are dangerous, as when stripped of one's finances, you may contemplate suicide or even become homeless, as these are your lifelines, all for faith. I'll let you be the decider on this one. I have to point out that I was unable to find any lawsuits against the Watchtower and Tract Society from back then in relation to this. But if there is one, and someone manages to find examples, please share them, as I would be interested in having a look. As always, I have left all my sources in the description and always will. And lastly, please leave a comment, either positive or negative. And take care, and I hope everyone stays safe and stay away from Jehovah's Witnesses. You don't want to go back.